giving glory, honor, and all praises to the Most High God, higher, higher. How you guys doing today, family? Shalom, shalom, baraka, mishpaka. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into a lesson today, and this is about, is the Most High God an Anunnaki God? Because every single time these scholars decide to try to discover something ancient, whether it's on a hieroglyph or whether it's scientific, they always try to compare it with the Most High in the Bible. And we got to actually nip all of these different things in the bud. So even though I could go all throughout the Tanakh and nip it in the bud, I'm just going to use the Ten Commandments because the Ten Commandments is pretty much the foundation of who the Most High God is and what He wants His children to be. So let's go ahead and let's read it. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Okay? You shall have no other gods before me. Hmm, let's go ahead and see something. The Anunnaki were gods in the pantheon of ancient Mesopotamia, believed to be descendants of the sky god An and the earth goddess Kai. Okay? In Mesopotamian mythology, they were powerful deities who decided human destinies, and their name means those of royal blood, right? It says their popularization in modern culture, however, often stems from ancient astronaut theories, particularly the works of Zacharias Sitchin, who interpreted Sumerian texts to describe the Anunnaki as extraterrestrials who genetically engineered humanity. So this is the story based off of Zachariah Stitchin. Okay, I call him Stitchin, but it's Stitchin. All right. The reason why I call him Stitchin is because he is literally stitching our our cells with these lies. Okay, he's stitching our brains and our heads with these theories that don't even exist. Okay, so with all of these different stories about the Anunnaki, you have to understand that these are not the ancient stories based off of ancient Sumeria. These are stories based off of one man and a couple of other scholars that decided to follow this one man's theory. That's all it is. Okay? That's what their name is. It's those of royal blood. But when you're talking about those of royal blood, you're talking about princes, right? Talking about people or princes and princesses. So now we're getting into royalty, royalty of Summer, royalty of the Sumerians. So this has nothing to do with the Israelites at all. Okay. So what did the Most High God tell us to do? I am the Lord your God, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt. Okay. Out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make unto you any graven images of any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So he's saying, look, there's going to be a lot of y'all that's going to hate me. So I'm going to show no mercy to those that do hate me because I want my worship. I want my worship and I deserve my worship. So if you're not going to give it to me, then you're not afraid of me. You don't fear me. And since you don't fear me, then I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna show no mercy to you, so that way you can, because this right here is not gonna fly. You're not gonna just create an image and then worship that image with the Most High, because the Most High does not share His glory with anybody. He doesn't share His praise with any image. I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. Okay? What did he say in 48:11? For mine own sake, even for my own sake, will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. So the Most High said what he said for a reason. Okay? Let's go back to the commandments. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take, okay, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. So before we get into this, let me go ahead and actually tell you guys about this so-called triad and how it relates to one of God's commandments. The Anunnaki triad refers to the supreme trio of deities in the ancient Mesopotamian mythology. Anu, the sky god and king of the gods. Enlil, the god of air and storms who governed the earth. And Enki, the god of water, wisdom, and creation, who was the architect of humanity. Okay? This triad represented the governing powers of the heavens, the earth, and the underworld or deep waters, and their complex relationship in distinct domains formed the foundation of Sumerian cosmology and early religious structures. Didn't the Most High God just tell us in Exodus not to worship anything on the stars, on the earth, or underneath the seas? If the Most High God was an Anunnaki God, then why in the world would a Anunnaki God say, don't worship anything that has to deal with these things, even though these are my brethren? That makes no sense. It's because there is such a thing as false gods. There is such a thing as false idols. And these are false idols. These are false gods, so-called gods, right? They're nothing, literally nothing. They represent things that the Most High God created. And these are the same so-called gods that derive from generation to generation, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Babylon, whether it's Greece, whether it's Rome. These are the same damn gods. And this is why the Most High tells you not to worship anything in the sky, anything on earth, or anything underneath the earth, underneath the waters as well. So these three deities, so-called deities, they represent something that the Most High told you not to worship. So make that make sense. If the Most High is Anu, if the Most High is Enlil, if the Most High is Enki, why in the world would he tell them not to worship himself? That makes no sense. But let's keep going. When it comes down to his next commandment, Salakia, when it comes down to his next commandment, he's talking about taking his name in vain. Okay. Now, in the Tanakh, you have certain people taking the Most High's name in vain, and it did not end well for him. Okay. As a matter of fact, what First Kings 13 and 11, it says, "Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the works that the man of God had done that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king. Them they told also in their father. And their father said unto them, What way went he? For his sons had seen what way the man of God went, which came from Judah. And he said unto his sons, Saddle me the ass. So they saddled him the ass, and he rode thereon, and went after the man of God, and found him sitting under an oak. And he said unto him, Are you the man of God that camest from Judah? And he said, I am. Then he said unto him, Come home with me and eat bread. And he said, I may not return with you, nor go in with you, neither will I eat bread nor drink water with you in this place. For it was said to me by the word of the Lord, You shall eat no bread nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that you camest. He said unto him, I am a prophet also as you are. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Lord, saying, Bring him back with you into your house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. So you have two different prophets. One of them is telling the truth and one of them is lying in the name of God. And this is the reason why we have rules. This is the reason why we have laws, because when it comes down to us, we can't be trusted with anything. Clearly, there's a reason why these gods are set up for us. It's because we're so gullible to the point where we're going to be worshiping these gods. And then we look at our creator and we hate at our creator, but that's just nothing but witchcraft. It's spell work. Look at this. Look at these graven images. Look at all of these images. And look at the derivation, right? Deriving from one another. Do you see this? Do you see this bull crap? That's all it is. Nothing but false imagery. Signs and symbols, right? Just like stars are signs and symbols for what? Years and seasons, day and night, sun and moon, right? What did the Most High say in Deuteronomy 4:19, right? What did he say? He told you, don't tempt to worship any stars. Do not worship any stars, for I am your creator. There's something deeper than the stars, man. And if you can't tap into something that's deeper than the stars, then the Most High is not with you. He's not with you yet. That's why you got to turn back to Him. Or else you could be able to be like this, right? Worshiping these gods that can do nothing for you. But what happened to this old prophet? So he went back with him, and did eat bread in his house, and drank water. And it came to pass, as they sat at the table, that the word of the Lord came unto the prophet that brought him back. And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, for as much as you have disobeyed the mouth of the Lord, and have not kept the commandment which the Lord your God commanded you, he said, but camest back and hast eaten bread and drunk water in the place, of the which the Lord did say to you, Eat no bread and drink no water. Your carcass shall not come unto the what? Sepulchre of your fathers. And it came to pass after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him the ass, to wit, for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way and slew him, and his carcass was cast in the way, and the ass stood by it. The lion also stood by the carcass. And behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. So the lion ate his butt up. He slew him. That's what happened to him because he took the Lord God's name in vain. You can't do that. So please, please be careful. Don't lie upon the Most High's name. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Now, let's go. Yeah, Mithra, the Mothra. No, Mithra. Sunday was considered the day for the worship of Mithra, the sun god of the Mithraist cult, because he was a solar deity and it was his what? Sacred day, much like the common practice of sun worship on Sunday in other ancient cultures. This practice of Mithraism, right, in ancient Rome involved rituals like the ceremonial breaking of bread and wine and promised resurrection for its participants. Hmm. Mithra was a god of light and the sun, and Sunday was the day set aside for his worship. The practice of observing Sunday as a holy day was a widespread pagan tradition in the ancient world, and Mithraists continued this practice in their worship of the sun god. Who is the sun god in Mesopotamia? Shamash, right? Shamash. So we all know that sun worship was a thing on Sunday. Who else is being worshipped on Sunday? JC, man. JC. This is the reason why they have church on Sunday, right? So you're not keeping the Sabbath because the Sabbath is not Sunday. They tricked you. They told every single person who was a Christian that the Sabbath was a Sunday, but it was actually the seventh day of the week. We all know that the seventh day of the week is Saturday. We know that. And there's even still some people that basically say that the seventh day isn't Saturday, right? They still have debates based upon different calendars and things of that nature. And the the lunar calendar that the ancient Hebrews had. Look, I'm all for it, right? I'm all for the truth. I can humbly say, I don't know everything, but guess what? I know good and well that the Sabbath day is not Sunday. You see, all of this is just nothing but them trying to affiliate pagan things into a biblical cause or into a biblical law that doesn't exist. These this pagan influence, the pagan influence into these laws didn't exist before. So where in the world did they come from? Solar God. Come on, man. It says 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger that is what? Within your gates. So any of these things that you have in your own homes, any of these people, any of these animals that you have in your own home, your family members, your property, nothing should be moving as far as working. Relax, take a load off. It's the Sabbath day, celebrate. We don't do that on Saturday because a lot of people still work on Saturday. That's Yasharala. We got to cut that out. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God giveth you. Now, when it comes down to honoring your mother and your father, what does it say will happen to you if you don't? As a child, you get stoned. Okay? We don't even have to go through that because everybody should know this. All right? Respect your mother and your father always. You shall not kill. Who's the god of war? Nergal, right? That's his name. The main Mesopotamian gods of war were Ninurta, the Sumerian hero, god of war and hunting, and Nergal, also a god of war associated with the underworld, death, and plague. Another significant war deity was Zababa, though his importance was often secondary to Ninurta and Nergal. Inanna also held significant power as a goddess of both love and war. So remember when I told you guys about the alignment of the ancient sun Saturn and how that alignment was based off of Mars, Venus, and Saturn himself? Inanna represents Venus. Nergal represents Mars. And guess what? You guessed it. Ninurta represents Saturn. And it's so ironic how all three of these deities represent the same damn thing. If you don't know what I'm saying, go ahead and check my videos out. Check out the video of the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 26. Okay? Check out that video. Check out the other video of the Son of Righteous video. Okay? The Son of Righteousness video is up there too. Check out these videos so that way y'all can understand what I'm saying about this ancient son that's trying to be like the Most High, but that ancient son is Lucifer. That's the angel that tries to be like the Most High, just like it says in the book of Isaiah. But it can't be like the Most High. That's the reason why all of the Most High's children, especially the righteous ones, they're the ones that's debunking this whole thing. You shall not commit adultery. Now watch this, right? There's a Mesopotamian deity. She's not a deity, she's a demon, right? A Mesopotamian demon that represents adultery. And her name is Lilith, right? In Jewish folklore and mystical texts, Lilith is linked to adultery as a succubus like demon who seduces men at night and is sometimes portrayed as having an affair with Adam after he was with Eve. This characterization positions her as a figure of sexual temptation and infidelity. The modern figure of Lilith has roots in ancient Mesopotamian mythology, where she was associated with a class of female demons and air spirits. Do not commit adultery out there, folks. You shall not steal. Who's the god of thievery? Let's find out, shall we? Mesopotamian god of thievery. All praises to the Most High. In Mesopotamian mythology, the god Enki is the closest figure associated with trickery and cunning, often employing clever or deceptive methods to achieve his goal. That's thievery. There is no single specific god of thievery, quote unquote, right? But Enki's association with magic and trickery is the most relevant connection. So Enki is a thief. Enki is a thief. He's a trickster god. It's the same thing with Loki. Loki is a trickster god too. I wonder if Loki tells lies. I wonder if he thieves. I wonder if he does all of these different things that they say is closely related to thievery. How can you be closely related to something? How can you be closely associated with something like thievery? That makes no sense. It's either you're a thief or you're not a thief. But you know how they do. They like to play with words, right? That's also something that they got from the god Enki. But I'm just here. What does it say? The theft? Of who? Of the men. In one myth, the goddess Inanna outsmarts Enki, right? I wonder where she got that from. She gets him drunk and steals the meh, divine decrees that are the foundation of civilization. However, Enki later retrieves them. So even Inanna is stealing. Do you see what's going on right now? These are supposed to be so-called gods, and they're stealing from each other. If you're a so-called god, you don't need anything else but praise and worship. You don't need to steal anything. I don't know, bro. It- You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Okay? You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is what? Your neighbor's. Just for shits and giggles. Let's see if Mesopotamian god of, let's just say jealousy, right? Let's see if there is one. There might not be, right? Oh, god of jealousy, Inanna? Hold on, wait a minute. Inanna and jealousy. Oh snap. In Sumerian mythology, the goddess Inanna is notorious for her fits of jealousy. Oh, okay. So the goddess Venus is jealous then, huh? You see how this all comes back in full circle with all of these different major deities that we talk about, that we say are demonic, that relates to the Holy Scriptures when it comes to what the Most High tells us not to indulge in. We're indulging in all of these different spirits. Anytime we disobey the Most High God's commandments, this is why he gets so angry at us when we actually sin. Is because we're indulging in having relationships with other spirits except for him anytime we sin. And then he calls it sin, which is what? The father of these deities. Sin is the father of Inanna. He is the father of Shamash, right? And we've talked about this before. When you're talking about sin, he is a so-called moon crescent god that represents the bottom of the polar configuration. So once we actually know these things, we know what's up already. There's a reason why the Most High calls all of these different abominations sin. He's calling all of these abominations another name of Lucifer, but nobody catches it. A personality that a personality trait, Salakia, that drives many of her most famous and destructive mythological actions. This jealousy, along with her passion and ambition, shapes her character and plays a crucial role in stories involving her divine sister, what? Ereshkigal, and her mortal consort, Dumuzi. Now, they tell us all the time that Dumuzi is Tammuz, right? Ezekiel 8:14. Is that Ezekiel 8:14? Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for who? Tammuz. Semiramis, Tammuz. Hmm. But I'm just here. I'm just breaking down, debunking all of this mess, all of this bull crap that they try to compare to the Most High. You can't compare. You cannot compare this bull crap to the Most High at all, because He tells you not to indulge in this stuff. The most prominent instance of Ainana's jealousy is her rivalry with her older sister, Erish Kegel, the queen of the underworld. Friendly rival, but nothing too serious. Exodus 20. When you're talking about the Most High and His commandments, there's a lot of things that a lot of people tend to miss. And there's a reason why He's giving you these laws. He's not just giving you these laws just because He's a uptight asshole, or that He basically just wants to just control you. No, no, He's actually giving us an advantage in this lifetime. He's giving us an advantage that we pretty much can't be able to see for ourselves because we're too focused on everything else. If you know, you know. Based off of every single commandment that He has literally told you, always tell the truth. Do not lie. Do not mess with another man's wife, or another man's possessions. All of those things avoid messiness that you don't need in your lifetime. So why not follow them? That's my question. Why not follow them? The Igigi, right? Let's go to it. The Igigi, Mesopotamia. In Mesopotamia mythology, the Igigi were a group of lesser deities who served as laborers for the senior gods, the Anunnaki. The Atra Hasis epic tells of the Igigi's rebellion due to the heavy backbreaking labor, right? This is the story, which led the Anunnaki to create humans to take over the work. Now, this is bull crap, and we're gonna keep reading. We're gonna keep reading, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep reading. I'm gonna break that down. It says the precise number and identities of the Igigi are unclear and may have varied, though the term likely refers to a celestial or heavenly group of gods as opposed to the more chthonic Anunnaki. So I'm gonna tell you right now, right? Based on a different culture, the Igigi were seen as spirits that were on earth before the creation of humanity. It was like they were replaced by us. But at the same time, they called the Igigi something different in a different culture. I believe it was Islam, right? I believe it was Islamic. But when it tells you that the backbreaking labor, which led to the Anunnaki creating humans to take over the work. When Adam and Eve were created, specifically Adam, the Most High told Adam to till the ground. When you're talking about tilling the ground, you're talking about taking care of the ground. That was Adam's work. He was taking care of the ground. He wasn't digging inside the ground trying to find gold. This is the BS stories that a lot of pagan people follow. And then they try to actually connect it with biblical stories. And it's like, dog, you can't do that. You don't even know the context of half of the stuff that they tell you that connects with this stuff. This is just crazy, man. It's crazy how we could be so deceived. It's crazy how we could be so into and so gullible about all of these different things that they put out into the forefront. But then when it comes down to the Bible, when it comes down to the Tanakh, all of a sudden, don't trust that, man. Don't trust the God of the Hebrews. Don't trust the Ten Commandments. The Bible is sexist. The Bible only favors one people, right? They'll give you any and every excuse for you to actually stir away from the Tanakh. Any and every excuse for them to actually give you, for them to actually persuade you to stay away from the Torah, especially the Torah, because those have all of your laws in it. And we'll be breaking down how the Bible is not sexist. We'll be breaking that down in another video. But I want to leave you guys with something. Let me see something. Let me see if they'll let me. The Antichrist in Islam is known as Al-Masih ad-Dajjal, or the Dajjal, a deceitful figure who will emerge before the day of judgment, pretending to be the Messiah. This gets better. And claiming to be God. Well, it seems like we already have a type of Messiah that claims to be God. But let's keep going. He is described in Islamic tradition, Hadith, right, as someone who will perform false miracles, such as healing the sick and raising the dead with the help of demons. What did the Pharisees say to JC? The Pharisees said, what? You're using the power of the prince of demons. But let's keep going, right? Let's keep going. To deceive many people. While the Dajjal is not mentioned in the Quran, this figure serves a similar apocalyptic role to the Christian Antichrist, right? So apparently Christians have an Antichrist representing the ultimate evil and corruption on earth just before the end times. Well, didn't JC basically say he didn't come here to bring peace, but a sword? I just felt like that was very, very interesting, right? Look at that. The one-eyed Antichrist. Didn't JC die with one eye? His other eye was wounded. Passion of the Christ. I might be speculating, but I felt like this was very, very interesting, especially when it came down to the story of this Antichrist. But who knows, right? Who knows? The only way we can know is if what? Is when Judgment Day comes. And we already know that as soon as Judgment Day comes, every single soul that sinned shall die, especially the souls that decide not to repent to the Most High. Ezekiel 18, Ezekiel 33. So this is just a video on debunking God being an Anunnaki God. So if any other person that is pagan decides to come up to you and spill you all of the knowledge about the Anunnaki did this and the Anunnaki did that, but there's some Anunnaki that is just like the Most High God in the Bible, and the Most High God is basically this God, this Anunnaki God right here because of this, that, and the third. There's a lot of parallels, and no, no, don't believe that BS. Please don't, because once they actually tell you this, now the Most High God is testing you. He's like, okay, let me see, let me bring this person to you. Let me see how this person can do with testing you, just to see if you stray away from my word. And I promise you, you'll know. You'll definitely know when the Most High God sends somebody that tests you. Then you like, I'm good. I do that all the time now. Somebody will come up to me and they'll be like, "Yo, isn't this interesting that this is like the Most High God?" I'd be like, "Yeah, but it's not." Quick. I don't play around when it comes to the Most High, bro. The Most High clearly tells you that he does not give his praise to graven images, and he doesn't give his glory to another. He clearly tells you that anybody that sees him shall die. So we don't know what the Most High looks like for real. We just know that he exists, just like his name. Hey ya, hey ya. I am that I am. I exist. Look at that. The hidden name for God, right? Reading from right to left. The first word above hey ya, past tense, means he was. The second word, hove, not hova, right? Because hova can literally be translated to she is instead of he is. So all of y'all talking about Jehovah, watch it. Watch yourselves. Hove, present tense, meaning he is, not she is, not Hova, but Hove, meaning he is. Eiye, eiye, meaning he will be. He was, he is, he will be. Haya Hove eiye. And I'm going to end it right there. All praises to the Most High God. I'll see you guys next time. Shalom Baraka.